I had a really good childhood. In grade 7, I think when the hormones kicked in, that's when maybe the bipolar kicked in because the hormones and everything. And in grade 7, I was really starting to act out in school. Really bad behavior. I got in trouble a lot. I almost didn't pass because of my behavior that year. Grade 8 and grade 9, I started to get really depressed. And by the end of grade 9, my family didn't know what to do. So they brought me to the doctor and he put me on antidepressants. That's when I started the medication. And then grade 11 and grade 12 was fairly up and down, mostly depressed. And then when I graduated high school and started college, I'm really bad on change. And it was a lot of changes, and I had a nervous breakdown when I was 19. And then my parents took me to the hospital because I was feeling suicidal. And then the hospital said, go see your family doctor. So we went and saw my family doctor, and she decided I needed to see a psychiatrist because she didn't know what to do. And then he diagnosed me as bipolar. I was on sleeping pills, antidepressants, and then I was on so many antidepressants, I had to take pills for the heartburn from the antidepressants. And it was just, I think I was taking up to 28 pills a day. And I would get depressed and they would just switch it or add more. I would get dizzy. I couldn't work sometimes because of the medication. I really wanted to have a child one day when I met someone, and I knew I couldn't do that on antidepressants because you hear about bad things that happen. And my dad had kind of mentioned, he had heard from a lady at church about the Empower, and he looked into it and he phoned me at work and he said, do you want to try it? I said, yeah, I'll try anything. I don't want to spend my life being depressed on medication after medication. I want to find some kind of balance. After I came off the drugs, the Ativan was the hardest to get off of. I was tired, I couldn't sleep, I had a fever, I was freezing cold. My mom had to throw the blanket in the dryer just to throw it on me, just to keep me warm. I threw up all the time. I couldn't eat anything. This was mostly in that whole summer. I never read the participant guide. My parents never read the support guide. And it says no major life changes, none of this stuff. So I went on the Empower in May, and in November I changed jobs, which is a life change I shouldn't have done. In December we got engaged. So throughout my whole first year of being on Empower, I changed jobs, I got engaged, I planned a wedding, and I got married. Big life changes that I shouldn't have done. That made
They're good now, but for the treatment purpose, it didn't make it any easier on her.
It made recovery 10 times harder. A lot of years where I needed to learn how to behave, where I had to learn how to handle my emotions, it got shut off because I was medicated. And it was happy or sad. It wasn't learn to deal with your issues, learn to deal with these emotions. It was just shut off. And now at the age of 30, I have to learn how to do this. And it's frustrating. If I didn't use support, I probably would have quit the program. Because every time I would call in, it was someone different. And I had to learn to ask for the same person. So they were familiar with my file, so they knew what was going on. And I found someone in particular that I liked, and she's the one who helped me decide not to give up. She's besides my husband and my parents. And she's been great. I still call her now just to talk to her and see how she's doing, just to tell her how I'm doing. Support it's wonderful if it's used correctly.
It gave you the confidence to know that you're in control of what's going on, and that it's not just the vitamins happening. And I think it was one of the misconceptions, was especially for people who are on it for a long time, to think, well, it's just going to go away now because I'm taking it. Well, it's not a drug. Mm-hmm. You're not, my favorite line, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound anymore. You're actually stepping up to the plate and teaching your body what it needs to do, and then once it's there, it's a treatment process. It's not a miracle drug. It's a tool to help you get better.
You have to stick with it for at least a year. You need a support. You need a support person. You need to take it seriously. You need to read this, the guides.
Any information.
Read it. You have to call in support regularly. And that's what they're there for, and they're kind, and they'll listen, and they'll help you through it. Don't make any big changes too fast. No big life changes like I did. They were good life changes, but it was too much too fast. I needed to heal myself first, because there's a lot of emotional healing. And I think when people go through withdrawal, they think once the withdrawal is over, it's over, and that's when the emotional healing has to begin. And I have to learn to be thankful and content with what I have now. Because my friend at Bible study said last night, I said, I always prayed and wanted a husband and kids. And she said, well, God gives us our dreams, but sometimes not always the way we thought He would. And now I have a husband and 2 kids. And I always say they grew in my heart, not in my tummy. So I just have to learn to be content and thankful for what I have now.